time for the others to arrive, and then we will start. Okay, so I will start this webinar. So first, thank you for attending this webinar. So today we will see 3 use cases. The first one is how to identify the pre-riders. Then we will see how to measure the group dynamics and how to develop the soft skills of the students with 3 format of activities. Just a reminder, we organize webinar every Tuesday at 11 a.m. in French and 2 p.m. in English. And this webinar will last 30 minutes and will be recorded. If you have questions, you will be able to activate your microphone at the end to ask me, and I will be glad to answer it. So just a quick presentation about ChallengeMe. So maybe first to introduce myself, my name is Jean. And I'm at ChallengeMe. I'm in charge of supporting the users in the use of the platform. So how it can be on technical questions or on pedagogical questions, on how you can use peer review in your courses, because you can use peer review in lots of different ways. We are, as you can see, we are a peer review and learning platform. So we allow the students to rate each other's on work or on group or to assess directly their group members on their contribution to the group work. So it depends if you want to work on hard skills or soft skills. We exist since 2015 and we work with lots of business schools, engineering schools, university as well, mainly in France, but we also begin to work with schools in Switzerland and Canada. And we are fully integrated to the main LMS, so learning management system of the market, like Moodle, Blackboard, Brightspace, Camilo, etc. So today's we will see 3 different use cases. So if I start with the first one, it will be how to identify the free riders. The free riders are the students considered as not really involved during group work. So the goal of this activity is to allow the teacher to identify them easily by letting the student to rate each other's on behavioral criteria. So it can be communication within the group, quality of the work done, initiative taking, etc. So you can pick criteria from our ChallengeMe database, or you can also create your own criteria. So we'll see everything, how it works technically just after. This is for the first use case. The second use case is more about how to measure the group dynamics. So here we will encourage the students to improve their contribution to group work by receiving feedback on different stages of a project. So the students will be able to rate each other's and to give a feedback to each other's at the beginning of a project, at the middle, and at the end. So it will allow them to receive continuously feedback and to improve how they behave in the group work to be the most effective as they can. And the last use case is how to develop the soft skills. So here we will also propose the student to assess their teammates directly, but they will be in different environments. So they will be in different groups. And by this way, they will be able to see how the group dynamics influence their skills. And it will highlight the importance of flexibility and adaptability in a variety of professional contexts, because they will work with different groups. So these are the 3 use cases we will see today. So first, to understand how to launch this use case, we need to define what is a challenge. So what we call a challenge is a peer review activity. And in the challenge, you can find different kind of phases. So here you can see the 5 phases you can have in a challenge. So the first one is a work submission phase, where we will allow the student to submit the work based on instruction defined by the teacher. So we won't need to use this phase for our use case today because it's not relevant for us for this use case. Then we have a work assessment phase, and here the participant will have to assess the work of others, so the production they made. We won't use this phase as well because it's not relevant for us today. And then we have the assessment of group members. So this is the main phase we will use for the use case today, because this is the phase where the students will be able to assess their teammates with whom they have collaborated. We also have a feedback assessment phase where the students are able to assess the quality of the feedback they received to say if they find the feedback relevant or not. And we have the result phase allowing the student to access the feedback they received and the scores they received. So regarding the challenge and the different use case we have, here is how you can define a challenge for each of the use case. So for identifying the free riders, we will only have one phase, which is a teammate assessment phase. And we can also add a result phase, allowing the student to find out their results, but it's optional for this case. So for the first use case, it will be really easy to use for the student because they will only have one phase. So they will have to rate each other, and at the end, the teacher will be able to see the score for each of the students and then to identify the free rider. For the use case number 2, we will have 3 iterations of teammate assessment, and the student will be able to assess their teammates in different iterations corresponding to different moments of a project. It can be at the beginning, at the middle, and at the end. And it will allow the student to receive continuously feedback regarding their contribution to the group work. And we have the last use case. It's the same format as the use case number 2, except that the students will be in different groups and they will be able to assess their teammates in the different groups to highlight the fact that it's the group dynamics will influence the way they behave to the group work. So this is the 3 use cases that we will see how to set up the 3 use case on the platform today. So I will switch to the platform now. So normally you should be able to see my screen. So I will first show you how to set up the use case identifying the free riders, and then I will show you how to set up the 2 others. So I will launch a challenge from a Moodle interface, but if you work on Brightspace or Blackboard, it's exactly the same principle, except that the interface of the LMS will be a bit different. So in Moodle, you have to click on Edit Mode, and then you will be able to click on Add an activity or resource. Then you will have to choose ChallengeMe activity. And here you can define a name. So here I will name identify the free riders, for example, and I will click on Save and Display. I will also click on Open in New Window. And here I will be redirect to this interface, and I will be able to choose the mode I want to create my challenge. So I have the simplified mode, which will allow the teacher to complete a form with their settings. It will send us a challenge creation request, and our team will check this request to see if everything is correct technically. If everything is correct, we will generate it, and it will be available for the students. This mode allows the teacher to create a challenge and to be sure that it will be done correctly because our team will check it. You can also create a challenge in direct mode. At this phase, with this mode, you have a lot of flexibility on the settings of your challenge, so you can change it easily. You can also launch it without our validation. So the two modes are available. I would recommend to use the direct mode because that's not because you use the direct mode that you can't ask us to check it, but you will have a lot of flexibility by using this mode. And that the mode will recommend from now. So I will show you how you can launch a challenge with this mode. So I click on direct mode. And here I can choose the kind of challenge I want to launch. So for our case, which is identifying the free rider, I will choose evaluation of group members. I can also create a challenge from scratch, but here I will use a template. Once I click here, I can choose the template I want to use. So I have different one. If you want to know more about the template, you can click on Discover button. But here we will use the Identify free riders template. So I will click on Create. Then I can name my challenge. I can add an image and a summary if I want. And here I have the phases of my challenge. So for this model, I will have one phase, which is the assessment of group members, which is the main phase. So I will be able to define some settings as the start date, the end date. If I want to send notification to the student just here, I can also define instructions. So it's already defined, but I can change it if I want. I can also define evaluation criteria. It's already defined as well here. So I have four criteria: communication within the group, autonomy on dedicated task, quality of the work done, and complete task in a timely manner. If I want to modify it, I can, and I can also add more criteria by picking criteria from the ChallengeMe database just here. And I can also add my own criteria, create my own criteria by clicking on Add Criteria. So I can use this template like that or modify it a little bit if I want. Each of the criteria will be rated from 1 to 10 stars by the students. So each of the criteria will have a name and a description allowing the student to understand how they can rate this criterion. So we will see what it looks like in the student side just after. You have an option tab allowing to enable the feedback. And we have also a participant tab. Regarding the inscription of participant, in fact, assessment of group members phase will need to be linked to this kind of phase, which is a group registration phase. And this phase will represent the group work realized. The students won't have to participate to this phase, but it will just represent the different group works. So to enroll the student, you just have to select this phase and to go to the participant tab. And here you have two ways to import your students. So if you use the group and the grouping in Moodle or any other LMS, you can click on Enroll Teams. And here you will be able to select the group from your LMS and to click on Select to enroll the group from your LMS. And here are the groups you just enrolled. If you don't use the group in your LMS and if you want to import them directly from an Excel file, you can do it as well. So I will enroll everyone. And to enroll from an Excel sheet, you just have to click on the three vertical buttons and to click on Import Participant. And here you can copy paste your list, your student list with some information as the email, the last name, the first name, etc. So you have all the import format available here. And you just have to paste your students, click on check, and to import it. So here I just imported 3 teams with some students inside. So this is how to import the students. And here your activity is ready. I will just pay attention to the date I just defined. So let's imagine I want it to start now. I will click on publish. Okay, and it will start in 1 minute. So I will show you what it looks like in the student side. So to access it, I will log as a student. And I will just have to click on the challenge I just created to participate. So this is this challenge. So here I have two other challenge I can participate, but the challenge I just created before is this one. So to participate, I just have to click on this one, and then I will be redirected to my challenge. Maybe I made a mistake regarding the enrollment. I just checked, sorry. Maybe I just have to refresh. Okay, I will just check if I enroll the good student. So to modify the settings, I just have to be identified as a teacher in my LMS and to click on the activity. So I will be able to edit it. So I will just check the participant here. Okay, and here, okay, that's why I couldn't see, because I didn't check all the participants to be considered as an assessor. So I will be able to switch again to the student view. Sorry for this. But by this way, I can show you how you can edit it. So it's not so bad. So I click on my activity, and then as a student, I can see my challenge. So I can see that I can participate of this challenge from this date to this date. And then I will be able to assess each of my teammates, including myself. I will switch to English, on the different criteria I defined. So here I have the 4 criteria. I can see the detail as a student to understand how I can rate this criteria, to understand what does this criteria mean. And I can also give a feedback to each of my teammates. If I had a result phase, I would be able to consult my feedback, but for this use case, I don't have result phase. I will show you in the other in the other use case what it looks like, because we can see it after. And once the student, once the challenge is done, the teacher will be able to access this interface just by clicking on the activity to see the different score received by each of the students. So here I can see the score from 1 to 10, so a chart representing the distribution of score from 1 to 10. I can see also the average for each criterion if I want to see. So here I only have two criterion because I'm in a real challenge. I anonymized to show you, but here I have 2 criterion. So the data you can see here are real data. For you, you will see the name of the student, but here it's rated anonym because I'm sharing with you real data. So here you can see each of the students, the group they belong, how many feedback they received, their score, how many feedback they sent, and their self-assessment as well. So you can compare the scores they received with their self-assessment. If you want to see the detail of the student, so you can sort the table with the score to identify easily the students who have been rated, who received a bad score, which potentially are the famous free riders. So usually when it's less than 6, we can see that it has been a problem with the students. So to understand why they have been considered as free rider, you can click on the student, and then you will see the different feedback received for the students. And it will be easy for you to understand, okay, why they have received a bad score. You can also compare the average by criteria with the average of the class just here. You also have a group view to see among the group who received, who have an average of a good score of a bad score. So you can see the average of the score received by the team members for each group just in this column. And you also have the deviation to see if the group members have been rated in the same way, or if you have lots of difference in the groups. And if you click on the groups, you can see for each of the groups what is the score for each of the member of the group. This is how you can manage your challenge. So now I will show you how you can launch the second use case. So to do it, I will log in as a teacher, and I will create another activity. So I will switch on edit mode. I click on add an activity or resource. And then I can also click on ChallengeMe. And here I will name my activity Measure the Group Dynamic. I click on Save and Display. And I click on Open in New Window. I click on Direct Mode. And here I will choose another template. So I will still, it's in French. I just switched to English. Okay, so I will click on evaluation of group members, and then I will select measuring group dynamics. I will click on it. So here I have a predefined title, predefined summary, etc. And in this template, I will have 3 phases. So these phases are exactly the same as the one we saw for the free riders, except that you will have 3 iterations. So for each of the iterations, the groups will be the same. So each of the students will be able to rate their teammates at different moments of the project. So to set up this use case, it's exactly as I did with the free riders, except that you have to define. You can change the criteria if you want to change it during the different phase. If you let the same criteria for the different phase, interesting for students because they will be able to compare to see the evolution of their criteria during the 3 iterations. So, but it will work exactly on the same way, and you can see that you have a result phase allowing the student to see their results. So you can define the kind of information you want to display to the student just here. Because you can decide to only display feedback. If you don't want to display the grade to the students, you can also display only the grade and not the feedback. You can choose. And what for the students, it will look like that. So I will switch to take the student mode. And if I click on mesurer la dynamique de groupe, which is a challenge I set up before with some data to show you what it looks like. I will see my challenge as a student with the 3 phases and the result phases allowing me to see my results. So for the first one, it will be the same thing as the free rider. So I can assess each of my teammates with criteria from 1 to 10 star in the feedback field. Just for information, you can also add a specific feedback field to each criteria if you want. And at the result phase, I will be able to see my score. So here I received a 6th, I received 7.20, and here 9.7 here. So I can see the evolution of my grade during the group work. And I can also see the different feedback I received on my contribution on each of the phase. And I can see the evolution of my average by criteria to see if I have improved my contribution during the group work. So this is the student side. And for the last use case, which is developing the soft skills by putting the students in a different group work, it will work on the same way. So I add a new activity. I will say developing the soft skills. Click on Save and Display. And I click on Open in New Window. I can click on Direct Mode. And here you can select developing the soft skills. So it's still in French, sorry, because my profile wants to be defined in French. Okay, so I can select the develop soft skills template. So this is exactly the same principle. You will have predefined resume, summary, and title, and predefined phases. So in fact, technically, it will be exactly the same as measuring group dynamics, except that for each of the phase, you will enroll the students in the separate groups. So for the previous one, it was the same groups for the 3 iterations. And here you will put the student in different groups, and it will allow the students to understand how they behave in different work environments. So technically, it's the same things. It's just the groups that will change. So you can still modify each of the settings by clicking on the phase if you want. So this is how you can launch there's a 3 use case. That's a lot of information in 30 minutes, but I will send you this recording just after. I will also send you some resources explaining how to create your challenge if you want. And as I said at the beginning, we'll really focus on the support. So if you need to plan a meeting to discuss about a project, we can plan a meeting and help you to create your challenge if needed. So now my presentation is finished, but if you have questions, you can activate your microphone and I will be glad to answer it.
Yeah, so indeed quite indigestible, everything compressed in 30 minutes. I do not see much of a purpose for that. Also, I wonder, I would hope that the simplified modes, which you showed in the beginning, but you didn't take, would be beginner's proof. And so now I don't know how to use that, because personally, I only need to identify 3 riders. Ideally by next week, I
Okay.
need to set it up. And well, these 30 minutes, I'm not too sure whether I will be capable to survive that.
Okay.
But I say, you're gonna send all this feedback instantaneously, I mean, just after the closure of this session, or how should we proceed?
To receive the recording, sorry?
Well, recording, but you also mentioned additional
Yeah,
information.
exactly. Yeah, just after after the webinar, I will send you everything to explaining
Okay.
how to create a challenge. But in your case, it's as I understood, it's a challenge to identify the free riders. So to do it, it was the first the first template I chose. So it will be this one. If I go back, so you just have to click on this one
Identify. Yeah.
when you launch your challenge. So you click on create, so you can complete the title and the summary. And here you just have to complete in the assessment. So in the group registration, you can enroll the participant by clicking on participant and enroll in teams or individuals if you have groups in your LMS, or you can also import with an Excel sheet.
Yeah.
And then you just have to define a start date and an end date here. The evaluation criteria are already predefined, so you can let it like that or modify it if you want. And then that's all you have to do because it's everything is set up. But if you need to modify it, you can still modify it, of course.
Yeah. Okay, but the issue is I don't know how much support there's going to be at ESEC, but usually there is little, if none. So if somebody of your company would be available to provide support, that would be great, I think, because I have very little time to waste, to be honest.
We can plan a meeting today if you want to set up your challenge.
Okay, that would be great indeed. All right. Well, thank you so much. But I want to be direct because what I say, I have been notified quite late that I was supposed to use ChallengeMe.
Yeah.
But if you've never used it, well, it's not going to be that simple.
I will send you an email just after to plan a meeting at this moment.
Okay, perfect. Thanks a lot.
Okay, thank you. Yes,
May I
Jolenta?
have a question? Yeah, I have a question about the results when we see about free riders. So about the students, you demonstrated the list of students I can see which were like evaluated less than 5 and so on. And are there possibility like to see in groups, like separate students in groups? I need to go through each and see in which group they were.
In the administration interface, you mean?
No, I don't know in which where I see the results. So it means in my as a teacher.
So as a teacher, to access the results, so you just have to click on the activity in your Moodle course, and then you will be redirected to this kind of. So I go back. You just have to click on an activity here, and then you will be redirected by clicking on an activity to an administration interface, which is this one. And here you can see all the students enrolled in your challenge, and you can see the score received for all the students. So here it's a challenge a demonstration, so I have lots of faces. That's why you have lots of data. But if I show you a challenge launched, but it's anonymized, it will looks like that. So you will have the students, the list of the students here, and you can see the scores they received, how many feedbacks they received, how many feedbacks they gave, etc. And you can also export everything in Excel sheet if you need to export it.
And how to do this? It's somewhere a button, yeah?
Export participant just here.
Okay. Okay, thank you. And it's indicates in which group they belong, as I see it. Okay.
Yeah, you can. In fact, you can see the group they belong just here in this column. Yeah, exactly.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, so if you have other questions, do not hesitate to reply to the email I will send you just after, and I will answer it directly. And if you need to plan a meeting to set up your challenge together, you can also ask us, and we can plan a meeting to help you to set up your challenge. So thank you very much, and I wish you a good afternoon, and I hope see you soon in a Challenge Me.
Okay, thanks a lot. Huh? Cheers.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
I send
Have
a
a nice
message,
day.
Christian. Bye.
Bye. Cheers.